Alright, next up, we're going to work on Gunner's midsection here. So, what are our markers? Scapula up here, point of hip down here. Then into the dog. The other marker is our rib cage, okay? The other important thing about the midsection to remember is where the kidneys are, okay? Why do we need to know where the kidneys are? Basically, you don't want to do any invasive techniques on the kidney area. So no percussing, okay? If you've ever got hit in the kidney, you know how painful it is. So any sort of digging that we would do into the kidneys is just bad news. Where are the kidneys? Basically, if you feel your way up right to the back of the ribs here, towards the top line, that's where our kidneys are, right? Okay, so midsection talked about. Let's get to massaging.
Okay, so before we get going here, if you haven't seen the video on what strokes we use when we massage our dog, please take a look at that video now. It's super important that we apply the correct technique, as the last thing we want to do when we're massaging is cause our dog any discomfort. And once you've seen that video, we're going to get going here with drawing some light palpation lines all the way down the top line of the dog, just off the spine. Basically, we go from the scapula to the point of hip. We can do it a few times, increasing the pressure as we go. Then in the same area, we're going to start some percussion up and down the top line. Again, we're going to go light, medium, and then heavy, increasing the pressure as we go if the dog lets us. Again, same area, we're going to keep on warming up the area. These are all opening techniques, so we're going to draw some light circles in and around the abdomen. We can go all the way down into the rib cage. We can increase the size of the circles. You know, you can do small, medium, large, again with varying degrees of pressure as we go. This is great for warming up. Final little warm up is we're going to do some back rubs. Again, we can do medium pressure here because we've already warmed the area up. Just go straight up and down with the flat of your palm. You heard me talk about the kidney area at the beginning. All we're going to do here is we're going to put our palm on the area, applying a little bit of heat. This is called sweating. It's very, very easy for the dog to tolerate. Then to finish off this section, we're going to do some more, a little bit heavier percussion because we've warmed it up. You can use your fingertips depending on the size of the dog. This is great for getting those synapses in the spinal column going, and it's just a really, really nice way to set the dog up for everything that we're going to do. We're going to do more palpation lines here, except this time we're going to go into the body of the dog, starting behind the scapula, and then our last line will be right in front of the point of hip. You see here, Gunner reacts pretty much straight away. This can be a very sensitive area for dogs to work on, okay? There's not a whole lot of, supporting fat or muscles that support the rib cage and the whole abdomen area really. So just be careful when doing this, okay? Always start light. You can build up to medium. If you want to do heavy, you can if the dog lets you, and again, depending on the size of the dog. But so you can see Gunner here is pretty sensitive to all of this, so I'm just keeping it light, making sure that he's okay, not doing any harder invasive techniques here. This is really good. This is warming up the cartilage area, all of the rib cage, and then we're going to finish with just doing one line down in the front of point of hip. Quick flip around for Mr. Gunner here, and you'll see that I'm drawing a little rectangle section. It's a few inches long. It'll be bigger depending on the size of your animal, but all we're going to do here is we're going to do some left to right compression, starting light, building up to medium, and then finishing off with heavy. It's basically right in line with his elbow, okay? Don't go too far down into the dog, kind of stay to the elbow area. Then in the same area, we're going to do some more palpation. Now you'll see here Gunner's reacting again, okay? It's a really sensitive area for him and is susceptible to a lot of spasms for dogs. So again, pay attention to your animal when you're massaging them. If you see that there's any discomfort, don't go any heavier. I'm doing a very, very light here. I don't want Gunner to be upset. And then we're going to finish off this particular area with some heavier compression, which we can do. It's not as invasive as the palpation. Then we're going to work our way further down into the body of the dog, and here we're going to do some left to right or right to left flat hand percussion. So again, we're going to do light, medium and heavy, just moving left and right, staying in the area. Then we're going to do some circular friction in the same area, basically just a different way to get the fascia moving around, to get the blood flowing, to stimulate the area. Again, we can do light, medium, heavy. You can do small circles, medium circles, big circles, depending on the size of your dog again. And then we're going to finish off with a little bit of a heavier flat hand percussion. And again, we're going to move into the final section of the dog's midsection with all this lovely loose fascia here. We're going to be doing the same techniques that we've been applying all over the rest of the midsection. We're going to start again with some horizontal flat hand percussion, starting light, building up if we can. Stop at the end of the rib cage, okay? Don't go into any area past the rib cage. Circular friction again, always moving. Don't stay in the same area, constantly be moving. Keep your wrist loose, light circles, small, medium, large. And then we're going to finish off the midsection with some lovely, more flat hand percussion, a little bit heavier this time. And that's it, that's the midsection.